All right, let's listen to Dave Porkboy now.
Incoming political rant. If you don't like political rants, keep it moving. I don't blame you. This Houthis signal group chat, the Atlantic controversy. I'll try to catch you up real quick. So basically, the U.S. launched an attack on the Houthis a couple days ago, terrorist group, successful attack, killed a bunch of them, very successful by all nature, opened up like the passageway for ships and cargo ships.
No. Like, I hate that this is the commentary now, and it's not very different than what the administration is saying. Like, I can't even get mad at Dave Porkboy for this, because this is unironically what the largest political commentator on this platform is saying as well, with the same lack of knowledge and information, and perhaps worse, with the lack of curiosity, lack of interest in exercising critical thinking. They just go, yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's totally open now. You know, it's totally open. Have we checked? No. Has commercial shipping lanes been restored? Are ships actually going through the Red Sea? No. But it doesn't matter. No one cares. It's just like a funnel of increasingly stupider people repeating what they kind of heard and just made up. As the lies basically devolve and become stupider and stupider, like no interest whatsoever. The question I have is this. What happens when another ship gets overtaken, or what happens when most commercial shipping companies still continue not to use the Red Sea because of genuine attacks? Like, what then? Like months of bombing, just like Operation Prosperity Guardian. You know, the failure of the Brandon administration, right? What happens then? Like, where do we go from here? Does anybody ever call into question that perhaps they were misled? Does anyone ever care about the truth at all?
They were being terrorized, so successful attack. Well, comes out after the fact that Jeffrey Goldberg, who's the editor of The Atlantic is a magazine that basically hates Trump, hates the left, hates people like me. Think Business Insider, think New York Times, think New York Magazine, all the heavy left-leaning media organizations. The Atlantic is one of them.
He said hates the left, which is true. The Atlantic does hate the left.
Hate them. Trump hates them. They hate Trump. They probably hate me. So the editor, Jeffrey Goldberg, comes out after. He's like, hey, morons, you guys included me on a signal group chat with sensitive classified information discussing the Houthis attack before it happened. Pete Hegseth immediate reaction is like, no, that never happened. We didn't leak any classified information. No classified information in there. And Jeffrey Goldberg released all the text in the signal group chat. And guess what? It's super sensitive. It's super classified. It's surreal that these guys added Jeffrey Goldberg to this group chat. I mean, they were talking about the attack, leading up to the attack, all the way to a couple hours, when they're going to do it, the time, the weather, you name it. And if this information somehow got out to the Houthis, and I assume in situations like this, things move at the speed of light, lots of American soldiers could have died, lives in jeopardy. So to me,
how?
A major
How is that possible?
Glitch in intelligence and just a huge mistake. It looked like Michael Waltz, the national security advisor to the president, added Jeffrey Goldberg to the group chat by accident. And J.D. Vance is in it. It looks like he added him by accident. And listen, we've all texted the wrong person. We've all emailed the wrong person. We've all had somebody who shouldn't be in a group chat in our lives. We are not the Secretary of Defense. We're not the National Security Advisor. We're not the Vice President of the United States. So
it's so funny because, like, this statement is basically what mainstream media is saying as well, for the most part. So when it comes from Dave Porkboy, who is a Trump dick rider, everyone goes, man, he's so brilliant and so open-minded on this stuff. It's crazy. And it's like, dude, you should be ashamed. If you are a decorated journalist at like CBS and your attitude is identical to Dave Porkboy, where you're just like, this operation was very successful, but everybody's asking like how we arrived at this failure. if that's the beginning and end of your conversation, and there's no daylight between you and Dave Porkboy in your fucking analysis, you should just quit your job and start eating pizza instead, okay? Start doing pizza reviews. Let him fucking be the guy. At least he's more entertaining, you know? He's more entertaining than the people over at fucking regular liberal news outlets. Yeah, I know. We already went through this entire article earlier.
Yeah, mistakes happen. This one can't. Here's my biggest issue with this. And this is in politics in general. The reaction of like Pete Hegseth and President Trump has been to kind of poo-poo it. Be like, there was no classified information in there. Trump's like, you know, how did Jeffrey Goldberg get in there? Like, did he hack it? Did he get in there? He didn't stay very long. The Atlantic is a horrible organization and a terrible magazine, which they are, and I hate them. And by the way, if Jeffrey Goldberg, he didn't hack it, he got added, but if he did hack it, that's almost more dangerous than somebody like Jeffrey Goldberg. If he can hack the most sensitive group chats, what are our enemies doing? Trump, I get being loyal to your people. I don't like firing people on innocent mistakes that they make, but this, and I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, you're mad about this, but we had a president like Biden with dementia who had the nuclear codes. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That wasn't right then, and this isn't right now. In this new administration, you want to take accountability. Trump, you may love Michael Waltz. You love Pete Hegseth. You may love these guys.
You keep saying Pete Hegseth. I love that. I also additionally love how much motion Dave Porkboy has because once again, society has completely collapsed. There's no more, there's no more need for like professionalism or people who know what the fuck they're talking about. And a guy that keeps saying Pete Hegseth has like more motion in this admin than anyone else. He's like, come on, dude, heads need the roll. What are we doing? And it's funny to think that like heads might unironically roll as a consequence of that. I don't know if it was real that he was actually asked to be a part of the Department of Commerce chat. I remember reading something about it and I thought it was like I thought it was too far-fetched even for this admin, you know what I mean? I didn't really entertain that. I don't want to, like I didn't want to entertain it and I didn't want to seek out the truth because it's one of those pieces of information where it's like, it's better that I don't know that it's real because I don't want to lose my mind further. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where if I understand, if I recognize the truth, like if there's even a shred of possibility that like it might be real, that the Trump administration actually was like, oh, Dave Porkboy, like you're brilliant. We need you at the Chamber of Commerce or something. Like, even if there's like 10% likelihood that it's real, I would fucking perish. So I don't want to, I don't want to think about that. And that's why I never actually investigated it any further. You come across as an annoying liberal for criticizing his pronunciation of Hegseth instead of his analysis. His analysis is fucking dumb. And I'm actually more interested in criticizing dumbass liberal media outlets who have the same exact fucking take as Dave Porkboy. Okay? The fuck do you mean? He doesn't know who Pete Hegseth's name is, okay? He doesn't even know what the fuck the Atlantic does. He just goes, they hate Trump, they hate me, I don't like them, okay? I hate the Atlantic for championing the fucking Iraq war. There's a good reason for me to hate the Atlantic. That's the difference between me and Dave Porkboy. I hate Goldberg for being an Israeli occupying force concentration camp guard during the first fucking intifada. There's a good reason. I hate him for championing Mohammed bin Salman and coining the term the charm offensive and sucking him off when he came to the United States of America. That's the difference between me and someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. There are very good reasons. Also, you're a fucking baboon who doesn't understand that I initially started criticizing Dave Porkboy for not knowing what the fuck he's talking about, and more importantly, drew a much larger, much more consequential point out of this, which is that the media is not covering this issue appropriately and not covering this issue with a degree of priority that places a higher order on like the fact that they fucking killed civilians without any fucking oversight whatsoever just because they felt like it. That is the real story here, beyond the palace intrigue and beyond the incompetence of the fucking administration. So this isn't even about Dave Porkboy, who I don't expect to have serious commentary on this issue. This is more so about liberal media outlets that have the exact same fucking attitude that Dave Porkboy has. A guy who doesn't know how to say the defense secretary's name. Now explain to me how you arrived 17 zip codes away from the fucking point that I was making. The thing is, though, that Dave Portnoy, as ridiculous about the sound, comes across more relatable to normies than you. 100%. I know that. Are you kidding me? You think I don't know that? I do. I do know that. I know. What difference does it make in this process?
But he has to go down. To me, it's Michael Waltz.
Depends on how you define a normie. No. Dave Portnoy is infinitely more relatable to the average person just by virtue of, like, being a guy who loves pizza and sports, okay? You're insane. Don't even try to provide a counter to that. Okay? Dave Portnoy is infinitely more relatable to the average American than someone like myself. Are you kidding me? I'm not even fucking relatable to, like, well-educated Americans who have been educated into believing that America is the police force and sometimes does a little bit of evil, but, you know, their heart is always in the right place. Like, think about the resistance I get from like even well-educated liberals who are supposed to be aligned with me on values and principles, and then they despise me. More so than even guys like Dave Portnoy. I could get along with Dave Portnoy better than half of the fucking liberals that yell at me all the goddamn time. But once again, I'm not even upset at Dave Porkboy as much as I'm upset at mainstream outlets that have Dave Porkboy's analysis on this issue.
He's the one who added him to this conversation. But you can't have the top of the top security people in the United States with the most sensitive information in the world adding random editors of a magazine that hates Trump's guts to a group chat talking about an attack before it happens on a terrorist group. You can't poo-poo it. You can't downplay it. You have to sit up there and be like, holy shit, this is a fuck up of epic proportions. There will be accountability.
Have you ever spoken to Arian Foster? Yes. Dude, what are you talking about? I've been on PFD's pod. And also, I was just texting PFD this morning.
I will get to the bottom of this. And frankly, I think I don't like calling for people's heads. Michael Waltz, it seems like you're the guy who...
I'm semi-liberal and I don't despise you, lol. I watch you almost daily. If you're semi-liberal in the sense that you're like more leaning Republican, it's understandable that you don't despise me. If you are semi-liberal in the sense that you're like left but center-left adjacent, then you're probably in the I despise Hassan category firmly. In my experience, the people that hate me the most are fucking neo-Nazis. And then after the neo-Nazis, if there was a ranking of order, like who hates me the most, after neo-Nazis, I would place like online libtards in the second, in the second category of like people who have the most smoke for me. Like people who love NATO, people who are diehard loyal fans of third way neoliberalism, people like that, like lib fanatics. Drama slop tubers is the number 2 one, obviously, but like drama number 3 basically is on board. And then it's conservatives and stuff. Like it's not even a question. Smug educated neolibs are the worst. Yeah, smug educated neolibs. Dan Pfeiffer fans, you guys are so funny because Dan Pfeiffer doesn't hate me. That's not even the case. No, I'm talking about a very specific group of people. Dan Pfeiffer doesn't hate me. Pod Johns don't hate me at all. I go to the places where liberals are at. And most of them, if they're open-minded and charitable, will develop a decent understanding. I'm talking about like the fucking Sex Pestiny fans and the Ethan fans. Like those are the motherfuckers who you spread lies and hate. You're cancerous. It's people like this. Yeah. You must have been a loser in high school, right? Bro, go get some pussy. How about some actually good non-biased journalism, you fucking monkey? You are the most dumb motherfucker I've ever seen. Kamala fixes all of this. It's guys like this that have been watching and has never stopped hating. Like just, I love that I pulled one out of the dark. I didn't even pull it out of the dark. He just revealed himself immediately. I was like, I'm talking about a specific type of person who just is a bot, okay? They hate the Republicans for their cultish thinking. They hate the Republicans because Republicans operate like a cult. They hate the Republicans because Republicans don't care about the truth. Things that they would understand I talk about on a daily basis if they had the capacity to not be a fucking bot. But then they turn around and operate in the exact same way that the Republicans do, but for like the K-Hive or whatever. The type of person that doesn't understand that the Associated Press, CNN, New York Times, and every other news outlet also has political biases baked deep into their coverage, their editorial teams especially. The type of person who thinks, no, those guys are just only telling the truth and nothing but the truth. The type of person who thinks, no, the Democrats know better. And then when the Democrats fail, they think the Democratic Party cannot fail on their own virtues. They can only be made to fail. It is us, the voters, who failed the Democratic Party. It is us who did not do the true neoliberalism. It hasn't been tried yet. Not a very large group of people that behave like this, but they are very loud, you know? Now, fear not, chatters. These people are very malleable. If the Democratic Party tomorrow turned into a Maoist third worldist party in its tendency, these people would be the loudest champions of the Cultural Revolution. They would be flogging and exposing counter-revolutionary behavior. These people are bots in the same way. They're bots for the party. They're party bots, and they do it for free. The very same people that were Biden dead enders. Okay? So I don't have an issue with guys like this because ultimately they just yell at the wind, but when push comes to shove, and the winds blow in a different direction, if they blow in a rightward direction, they will go along with the rightward swing. If they blow in a leftward direction, they will go along with the leftward swing.
Added him to the group chat, you have to lose your job. You should step down. You cannot be adding random people to a group chat with this sensitive, classified information. Just be, oh no, poo-poo. It's on him. He should have left the group chat instantly. This guy shouldn't have stayed in. It's on Jeffrey Goldberg for not immediately being like, hey, I should be here. No. It's on you for adding him. And this has to be something that, and this is why I hate politics. You have to stand up here and be like, what a fuck up. I will demand answers, accountability in the heads. I don't care if you're right, left. There's nothing being made up here. Jeffrey Goldberg is telling the truth. It's obvious these texts are real. It's obvious they're classified. It's obvious we gave away the strike information 2 hours before it happened. We're lucky it didn't cause the death of American military members. Somebody has to go down for this. This is a...
Yeah, everyone's a liberal, including Dave Porkboy, including Donald Trump.
Mistake. This isn't a Barstool mistake where you let an idiot hang around like Mitzi. This is a mistake that can't happen twice. It cannot happen once. So you have to make a change and show.
It's funny that he is more critical of the current administration than like CBS is to a certain degree. But
it'll never happen. And these are the top intel guys that we have in the country. Adding a rando, the editor of The Atlantic, to the most sensitive group chat in the world, somebody's got to go down. That's just the facts. You can't poo-poo this.
Liberalism is monoculture, so of course conservatives and Republicans and reactionaries alike still exhibit a lot of liberal tendencies, aesthetics, optics, civility, a care and consideration for those things. No real underlying ideological championing, no real underlying goals that they want to accomplish, but instead just want like pure optical domination on the main stage. That's what liberalism is all about. Being apolitical.